We'll start with Chuck Howard, back in the back.
Chuck Howard, NASCAR Media Group. Jeff, two questions. First off, when they first announced going to race in New Hampshire years ago, racing in the Northeast, everyone was saying that's pretty cool. First question, has this speedway as well as racing in the Northeast exceeded your expectations as far as fans and the facility itself?
Well, I think maybe the thing that threw people off a little bit was just NASCAR stock car racing in the Northeast. There's always been a huge group of racing fans up in the Northeast. I raced up here briefly long before I was in, or a year before I ever went down south to get involved with NASCAR. But I was driving a midget, a super modified, and saw the different tracks and the competition, and a huge fan base for local racing. So I wasn't that surprised. You put a flat 1 mile oval track, in near Loudon, New Hampshire. Wasn't sure, how big it could be, but after the first nationwide race that I ran here and see the grandstands filled up, I knew the Cup Series would do very well here. And I was just thankful to get a couple years here of some racing before the Cup Series, so that. And I always felt like that gave us a little bit of an advantage when we did come here with the Cup car.
And looking down the road a couple of weeks with the Brickyard, is it still something that, not every day that you wake up, but regardless of how many times you've run there.
I try to wake up every day.
Well, I know, so do I. It's difficult, as you know, but it's still got to be something that you still think about, not daily, but I know it still gets the blood pumping and everything.
Oh no, the Brickyard is always special. It's just, for me, such an important race for us, for me and my career. I'm just so thrilled and excited that I've won at the Brickyard. And I still feel that way. It's still an extremely important race for us to go and compete at, and I think it's still is important for motorsports, important for NASCAR, but just for me personally, I just love going and competing there with the history and knowing what me going there as a kid and going to the museum and doing different things and just walking around that track, thinking what a dream it would be to someday race there, and now to get the chance to do it is fantastic.
Ed
Hinton, ESPN.com. Jeff, looking back over the past 4 years here, 8 different winners of Cup races. Is there any rhyme or reason to why the winning of Cup races at this? That sounds like a number you come up from Talladega of old or somewhere. But 8 winners in 8 races. Any?
I think it's because track position and pit strategy plays out so much here that you'll get guys take some big risks. And obviously last year here, Kurt Busch took a big risk staying out when it rained, and that paid off for him. And then you've seen guys take 2 tires, no tires. You've just seen so many different strategies that have paid off here. That's, the fastest car doesn't always win. And at a track like this, it's more true than others because it's tough to pass. And with the aerodynamics of it, especially with this car, being out front is huge.
We'll go to Jared right behind you.
Yeah, Jared Turner, NASCAR scene. A couple things, Jeff. The first thing, with you being so high in points and this being this site being the first site for a chase race, do you give up anything in this race to sort of look ahead and maybe test for that first chase race here?
Sure. No, this first race of the chase, we feel like this is a very important race, very important track. And we are in a position in the points to be a little more risky in our setup, in our pit strategy. But the most important thing is getting the car really dialed in this weekend so that when we come back, for the chase, that we started off right.
And also, just looking back over the past few weeks, you've had some strong runs. Part of that's been because of pit strategy and other things. Do you feel like that in the last 6 or 8 weeks, you guys have been just a little bit tick off from where you were, say, in the first 6 or 8 weeks of the season, and why has that been, if that's the way you feel?
Yeah, I feel like at the 1.5 tracks, I think we're still really strong. The bigger tracks, we're really strong. Throw out Pocono. I mean, that's kind of its own place.